Good evening. It is Tuesday, August 1st, 6 p.m. Welcome to the North Brookfield Board of Selectmen meeting. If you'd all join me in saluting the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First order of business is the minutes for May 2nd. I wasn't there, so I'm not going to vote on that. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of May 2nd, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion to approve payroll warrant number 3 for $285,721.66. School warrant number 1002 for $61,771.36. And general warrant number 1003 for $430,296.69.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
No.
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Let's see. We've got let me see here. Who was it that wanted?
So,
You had something that you wanted to say?
yes.
We'll let you go first if you don't mind, and that way you don't have to wait around if you don't want to.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to say something about what happened to me last Tuesday. We had an incredible storm, and my tree was hit by lightning and it fell on top of my house. And I just wanted to let everyone know that that was an extremely scary and upsetting thing to happen. And the neighbors in my area were all fantastic, but what I really wanted to tell everyone here is that the fire, police, ambulance, and fire truck, everybody that responded, the response was immediate, absolutely immediate. They came and they got right to work. I couldn't get out of my house, and they cut branches so that I could get out of my house. And the ambulance attendant came, and he was trying to get me to calm down and breathe. And the chief, Joe Holloway, is his name, I believe. He was incredible. He had me sit down, and he had me just relax and tell him the story of what happened. He had me talk to him, and he actually called my insurance company with my permission and told them that I had, this happen, and that, I was speaking through him, but I couldn't even breathe. I was having such a hard time. And he was so kind and so calming. And all this time, while I was speaking on, with him, the workers were going around cleaning up broken glass, cleaning up plaster, cleaning up rain, because, the house was, soaking wet because of all the rain. And they were cleaning up all of the floor and everything. And they were so quick and so responsive and just so helpful. And then I thought, okay, well, that's fantastic. Their response was fantastic. 7:30 that night, this happened at 2:50 in the afternoon. 7:30 that night, I get a knock on the door, and it's Joe Holloway and the EMT, making sure I was okay. I start crying. Making sure I was okay, and making sure that everything was all right and that I wasn't getting any rain in. They put up an arrangement of tarps to go into barrels and everything for me, so that, because it rained until 9 o'clock that night. So they came back and checked on me, and then they called the building inspector and the electrical inspector and made sure that it was safe for me to go back in. and made sure that it was structurally sound. And I know this is their job, but it's also a volunteer department, and I just would like to commend them beyond any reasonable doubt that they were just incredible to me. And then the next morning at around 8:30, 8:45, I got a knock on the door. It's Joe Holloway again, making sure how I did through the night and make sure I didn't get any water in the house. I don't know of any other town that would do that and be so responsive. So I just wanted to thank them, and I wanted to also see if there was any kind of recognition that they could get.
Well, we appreciate you coming in and letting us know that. It's always good to hear stories like that from, you know, about our various departments. And our response teams are very good, and we do appreciate them, and we're glad that they took care of you the way they did.
I think they went beyond good. I think they went over and above. So
They're very
thank you.
compassionate.
Fabulous.
Very compassionate. Thank you very, very much.
No, you're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
They'd probably be just looking for a thank you.
Oh,
You know.
I hugged each and every one of them on the way out. And I will be sending a thank you, yes.
All right, wonderful.
Thank
you,
you.
and I'm glad you're okay.
Well, thank you, I am too, but I'm just more hoping that everybody knows, you know, what you've got here, because I don't know of any other town that would have done that. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Well, that was nice.
Yeah.
All right, financial items. We have to discuss whether or not we're gonna have a spending or hiring freeze with the upcoming budget, the way it is, the way things look, and, you know, where we took, we had to take money out of stabilization to balance the budget for this last year. So, I'll open the floor to discussion.
Sure.
So, do you have anything?
I mean, we've sort of talked about this a little bit before, and I've heard it in FinCom too, and I think we're meeting with them next week, so I would be open to, you know, just putting a hold on things until we can talk more thoroughly with them.
The freeze sounds good to me.
Yeah.
We don't have the money to do anything else, so
Mm-hmm.
I think all the departments are pretty much set with their employees anyway.
That's what it seems like, yeah. So,
Okay. Now, as far as spending, what would we be freezing? It would be, you know, because some things are, you know, they have to purchase fuel, they have to purchase certain things, but what would be the,
Well, last year we did up to $100 they could spend, but that, for highway and police and fire, that's.
I know, we're
really
just
can't
starting the
do
budget
that.
year, so,
Yeah.
mhm,
Well, they have a budget they can't go over anyway.
right,
But we
exactly.
had put one in like monthly or weekly, you know, they had to check with us
yeah,
to spend, but in a lot of cases, that's ridiculous because they have to buy their goods, their materials, parts,
mhm.
fuel.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to put a spending freeze on right now at the beginning of the budget year with their, you know, with their budgets already approved and in
Mhm.
place.
And a hiring freeze?
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I don't think we
Yeah.
need to.
All right.
And then I mean, I guess at that point, do we just ask departments to come to us if they need to hire somebody or if they're
Yeah.
looking to hire somebody and then we approve the
Yeah.
process? Yeah, I
Well,
think,
we're gonna know if somebody
Sounds
leaves
reasonable.
anyway. to
right,
approve.
exactly,
If they have to replace somebody, you feel like you're adding an employee.
right.
So,
Mhm.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve of a hiring freeze until further notice.
so moved.
Second,
Motion's been made and seconded, any discussion?
we sort of did that already.
Yep. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have an ARPA recommendation. This is at their meeting on Wednesday, June 14th. The ARPA committee voted to submit the following spending recommendations for your approval from the town's ARPA funds at this time. $21,665 to fund the educational software and hardware expenses for North Brookfield Public Schools. And there's a copy of the letter.
We talked about that at FinCom.
Yep.
Last year, they dropped their ask,
Mm-hmm.
they could get this from ARPA.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
The school cut their budget, and school cut the software out of their budget in order to ask ARPA to cover it, so,
And,
Yep.
and this will help with our budget for the year too, I believe.
yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve this expenditure from ARPA for $21,665 to fund the educational software and hardware expenses for the North Brookfield Public Schools.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded, any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay. So last week, we talked to the highway superintendent about chip sealing with a liquid, or the rubberized chip seal, rather than a top course of conventional asphalt. And before we approved it, we asked them to send us a cost difference, and it'll cost us $100,000 less. Is that right, Kim?
Yes, $100,000 more than the rubberized chip seal.
Right, so
Process.
if we go with the rubberized, it's $100,000 less than,
That's correct.
so.
Right.
And it's,
By reserving funding in our Chapter 90 money. It's our paving account.
right. So these roads getting the rubberized chip seal treatment have been properly prepared. Chip sealing that we had done years and years ago, I don't believe it was rubberized, and the roads weren't properly prepared. So I'll entertain a motion to approve going with the rubberized chip seal.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, I just have a couple of clarifying questions. So this says chip seal's been utilized in the past, so it's been utilized in the past by us, by North Brookfield?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we did do a chip seal. You can see it on parts of Hillsville and East Brookfield Road.
And those are the ones that didn't hold up over time, they
It
just
was
haven't
years
been.
ago, you
Okay.
know, upwards of some 10 years ago. And I just think that the material altogether is just better to take this secondary process as it's needed.
Okay,
I
so
think
the,
Brooks Road was done also, the bottom half of it.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
But they put it on top of gravel,
Yeah, and I'm
and
not
that's
sure it was
not the right
rubberized either.
process.
got it.
Process is to
Okay.
put it on top of the
Mhm.
base coat. They did it wrong.
Okay.
This will be a first for the rubberized, that's something new that I didn't know about.
And the $100,000 difference, so that's the cost, that's, compares it to the cost of what of the roads that we're looking to chip seal, is that correct?
As entirely, all 5 roads.
Okay, got it.
Right.
Thank you. That's all I needed.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
So, 6:15, we have a liquor license hearing for Connect North Brookfield. All right. And that's you?
Yes.
All right. So,
I have
restaurant, all alcoholic, what's that?
I have the full folder of the full application if you want to look at it. I just didn't make copies because it's quite a bit, but that should have the information you need.
Okay. So, restaurant, all alcoholic beverages. Connect, there's one in Spencer, right?
Yes.
On Mechanic Street?
Yep.
So, I guess, what are your hours gonna be?
So Monday to Friday will be 11 or 11:30, until 9 p.m.
Okay.
Friday will be actually 10 p.m. Saturday, Saturday and Sunday we'll be opening for breakfast, so 8 a.m. and Saturday will close at 10, Sunday will close at 9.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Is Sunday 8 a.m. to 9?
8 to 9, yeah.
Just curious.
All right. Now, are you the manager or the owner?
Owner.
Okay. Well, I guess we can open it up to discussion, see if anybody's got any questions, concerns. Mr. Grace.
Good evening. My name is James Grace. My wife and I live at 343 North Main Street behind the restaurant. I have a few questions. 3 or 4 meetings ago, a woman was present that announced she was opening the community center in one of the open offices in the Adams building. This board questioned handicapped access. Will this board be asking the same question in this instance for this new business as well? I spoke with a woman at the ADA to gain some knowledge on the subject, and she stated that it does, in fact, need to have handicapped access as a new business, regardless of who does the upgrading. And that would be a contractual agreement with the current owner and the lessee. If a complaint is made and the ADA investigates and it is non-compliant, it will have to be brought up to code regardless. And that also includes not only access to the building itself, but access to the bathroom facilities as well. This was already asked by a person in town after reading the recent news article that is handicapped and responded in the comments section. Not sure if it was ever responded to. 2, on November 28th of 2003, the owners at that time went to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a special permit to alter a pre-existing non-conforming restaurant use by constructing a 20 by 30 deck to provide outside dining. The permit was approved as well as the liquor license in the months following, although one member of the select board had concerns with the liquor license and about the neighbors and neighborhood in general, and felt that they should at least be discussed. That member made a motion to do just that, which was overruled. A new motion was made to approve, and the permit passed 2-1. But it passed with certain conditions. Those conditions are as follows, as stated in the application. The deck area to be enclosed by a 6-foot minimum fence, which was questioned at the time by the current owner and then responded to by the select chair, is stated. The intention of the selectmen was to screen the entire area from view, including the neighbors to the rear, not just the south side, and the parking lot side as well. 2, no service on patio after 10 p.m. 3, no outside bar setup. And 4, no access to the parking lot from the patio or deck area. In a letter from the Zoning Board of Appeals dated November 28, 2003, states, first page, item number 5 of said letter, that there is to be no further expansion of this building, which brings me to my next question for the first board. Did the property owner or last leasee at any time approach this board and request permission to alter the patio? And if so, was there a building permit issued specifically to do so? Because now there's a set of stairs leading to the grass area on the west side. It's completely open, which contradicts the conditions set forth by the ZBA and the Select Board. We as abutters would like to see this return to the conditions set forth by the board and the ZBA. We addressed these concerns in a letter to the Select Board on March 10, 2012, and their response was, and I quote, "In all fairness to the current owner, we cannot find any evidence that these conditions were ever laid to him when he purchased the business. In any event, the owner has been told that he needs to enclose the entire deck with a minimum 6-foot fence by July 1st, 2012, or as soon as possible thereafter. This was never done, nor was it ever enforced. My worry is this, which leads me to my next question. Is this going to be yet another slider through the good old boy system and turn a blind eye to the conditions set forth by the town, not have the enforcing agent do their job? And two, will this select board monitor and make sure that all conditions past, current, and future will be met? Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the handouts.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I do appreciate your concerns, and I do understand that these are all stipulations that were required on that property. So I'll have to look into whether or not the building inspector did get any requests for opening up that deck to be, allow entry out there, and I'll look into the other issues that you've asked about, and we'll get everything to comply accordingly.
Now, I don't want to deter Mrs. Santos from starting a restaurant. We own the restaurant ourselves back in the late 70s, early 80s. But lessee beware, it needs to be brought up to code, and you just can't put lipstick on a pig like you do. That's the way it goes. The worst part of the back of the building, after they repainted it, is left alone. It's just looks like crap. Is that really what you want the abutters to look at?
Mhm. Well, I'm sure she knows she has her work cut out for her, but we'll work with all parties to make sure things get done the way they're supposed to. Yes, sir.
We just moved here 5 years ago, and the restaurant's always been an eyesore. So we went and we bought 25-foot arborvitaes to block the view. I didn't intend on spending that money when I moved here, but it was either that or look at that all the time, and it's not a pleasant sight. Until you live in the area, you don't know. You say you're gonna fix this, you're gonna fix that. I have no idea why people don't do their jobs when they're told to do it. You guys are supposed to enforce it or have people to enforce it.
I don't know if you guys are aware, but do you know that dumpster's been half full since Bob left in April?
I was
had no
not
idea.
aware.
And the flooding in back is unbelievable.
Yeah, the way the parking lot goes, it floods our yards, we have a wet spot that's almost like, looks like a sinkhole.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with the traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a town storage come into our house in January. It's about $32,000 worth of damage because somebody didn't do their job.
What was that, a backup? Sewer
Yep.
backup?
Yeah,
On
they're
the street.
blocked in the sewer.
Is that from the restaurant?
The doctor had one 2 weeks before that, Dr. O'Connor's office.
Did he?
Yeah.
I know
Well,
nobody
United Drain had to
maintains
come
it.
out, and that's why his tree is down.
And that's
Yeah.
the sewer or the stormwater?
That was sewer. Sewer. Because United Drain said it was sewer to Dr. O'Connor.
For us too, it was
And then 2 weeks later, it was them.
Oh, they had to rip everything out of my bathroom and half my bedroom. All the floor, the rugs, the walls 2 feet up, toilet, tub, sink, vanity, everything ripped up.
Did they say what the issue was? Was it the tree roots or?
There was a brick wall that collapsed in the storage area somewhere,
on the other side
12 or
of
15
Stats.
feet down.
On the other side of Stats, right near your house, right?
In front of you. But why it all came into my house, I have no idea.
Because we're the lowest point.
But I mean, it just came pouring in, toilet was overflowing, bathroom was overflowing, sinks were overflowing, it was unreal. It's like a nightmare.
Excuse me, which house are you?
345.
Where's that one?
The red one across.
Red.
So by
Oh,
the,
across the street by you?
yeah,
On the other side of the restaurant.
Okay,
setback, 100 feet or so, red building.
okay.
Used to be Dr.
Right across
Grace's.
I'm actually here, but for the same thing, but it's, I'll just wait my turn.
Yeah.
All right, did you speak to anybody from the sewer department?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they had them, they were down there and they
they undid the outside,
Clean out,
clean out
it's like a fountain.
so that we could stop the water from coming in and the sewage. And the insurance, we're still talking with the insurance.
It's like welcome to North Brookfield.
I got that looking into.
All right. Anybody else?
Well, would be pertaining to the same thing they're talking about. I thought we were gonna be talking about this later, but, I brought this up when I bought the house I live in.
Now, this is regarding
This is the
So we're still
liquor
talking
license.
about.
We're still talking about
We're
the liquor
still
license.
talking about Connect,
the
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 restaurants.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got off,
Oh, this is
we
about,
got off on a tangent.
oh, you got off on that? Okay, I'll talk about that later. Okay.
They have flooding issues in the
Okay.
back.
Oh, you don't want
Yeah.
to.
So,
You don't want to.
so we're talking about the
License.
liquor license hearing for Connect.
Yep.
So, anybody else on the liquor license for Connect? All
I
right.
got here a link. Was anybody opposed to it?
Yes.
Nobody's been opposed to it or for it?
So nobody talked about it at all?
That's what we're talking about right now.
I know, I didn't know if anybody got up and said anything. I thought.
No, sorry, yeah,
Yeah, Jimmy did.
Yeah, Jimmy said.
And were you talking opposed to it or for?
Okay.
Well,
I just.
So,
see
so
what it is.
nobody's
Right.
said anything about that yet?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So all we want to know right now is, we want to talk about the liquor license for Connect North Brookfield. Thank you for bringing the other things to our attention. We'll definitely look into those.
Well, there's areas that have been neglected since I've been there. I've only been here 5 years.
Right,
But the
and,
back is a constant flood.
right, that's, doesn't have anything to do with the liquor license.
Well, it should be brought up to code,
It should be.
yeah?
No one's arguing.
that water.
Can we just talk about this, because I'm gonna be talking about it.
Well, we'll talk about the other stuff after.
Okay,
We have a public comment period at the end.
all right.
I mean, it's on my property, the water, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
And it probably leaches into the pond and back that belongs to Jimmy. It's
Yep,
dangerous, it's just, it shouldn't
I'm
be.
sure it
It's
is.
in the
Should be a
drain, it's
drain
also
there.
in their
Yep,
parking lot.
I'm sure it is, and I appreciate
The owner?
you telling us that this is going on. So, all right,
So the stuff that,
back to the liquor
the
license.
stuff that Mr. Grace brought up will be taken up between,
Right, we'll be
Let's see, and the owner of the
we'll be in
property.
contact with the building inspector and the other people that are involved in
Right.
that.
right.
But
Just
right
like-
now, we're talking about the liquor license.
And just to put it in perspective, that gentleman's owned that business since 2008. It's 2023, and he still hasn't brought it up to code, so.
Okay.
It's a piece to take a look at.
So back to the liquor license.
How many seats do you need for a liquor license?
How many seats?
Yeah. The state requires a certain number of seats per.
We had a restaurant and we had to have, what was it, 100 seats
Yeah.
for just beer and wine.
I think you can have less than that.
Yeah,
because
sure.
Is there a code
It's
here
the-
that's,
It's a code for
Different.
sprinklers. For over 99 people, you have to have sprinkler system.
Right.
right, we had.
Or if you get have entertainment, you have to have it. Because my girlfriend lost her restaurant because of that.
Because I know that's what he,
Yeah.
that's
Each
why
town
he
has
had
its own.
99, he started at 99. So,
Is there a seat limit in North Brookfield?
I'm not sure what that would be. I'm pretty sure it has to do with a safety thing. I'm not sure about the liquor license. We've never had to.
Well,
be
the restaurant
concerned.
holds 60 people. you
Right, well,
can't
we,
have
as
300.
far as the liquor license goes, we've never had to go by seats. But I've noted that, and I'll look into that too. So, anybody else on the liquor license? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the liquor license for Connect North Brookfield.
Second.
Discussion?
No, I don't think so.
She's gonna have to go for a business license also.
She already has that.
She has that, is that, and my question is gonna concern Mr. Grace's questions.
Yeah.
Before she gets going here and everything, is the owner of that property gonna help her to conform with our questions? And how would,
We're gonna have to approach the owner of the property.
I know, but is it worth it for her to go through all this stuff if she's gonna have a liquor license she can't use? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my question. Do you think that between you and the owner, you can get it to conform?
I'm sure we can, yes.
I'm asking because I don't want you to have to do this for naught, that's all.
No, I understand. So,
You know, the neighbors are here complaining about what was there. So if you're gonna make it better, I think they would be happy with that. Take the stairs out, put the wall up, whatever, kind of come up with the stipulations that they said back in wherever it was, 03 or 2012, is that what it was?
2012 it was readdressed because nothing was brought up.
Nothing was brought up, so if the owner can clean it up a little bit with yourself, and I think it would be a good thing for the town.
Not a big ask.
Well, that's it, yeah.
No.
I just have a question. The stairs that are going onto the grass, is that what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
The,
They're not
the
supposed
last
to
guy
be
that
there.
leased it just did it on his own.
And the parking lot ones too? The parking lot ones too? Were they supposed to
It
be?
goes to the grass.
It's the ones off the
and then
deck.
walk right
No,
to
it's
parking
just
lot.
the steps off the deck.
Off the back, okay, okay.
That's the only steps.
Yeah, that's an easy fix.
Yeah.
There was never supposed to be there.
You can go
Bob
out the
just
back
did it
door.
on his own.
Yeah, I didn't
I think it's so people aren't going off the back of the, they have to go through the restaurant to
Well, we
get
got
out.
drunk people in our backyard with bottles of beer before.
Yeah.
You've also
So
had
this
a
is
car
one
here
thing that we
next
try to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because people would take off the deck, then they think, oh yeah, look at this beautiful park.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, they're out back.
Sure.
One guy had a kid, a bottle of beer, and he was down at our pond, and he had come from Stats.
Yeah.
And I had to go out there and address it. So the police have now told me, if anybody comes on my property, they have to take care of it. They don't want me taking care of it, because I'm not a good person if you come on my property. I'm gonna tell you right
I don't
now.
blame you.
Where's this one?
Right across
In my
the street.
backyard, yeah.
Behind
Right,
the
you know where
steps.
the
parking
doctor's
lot.
office is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all part of Graceland.
It's all
Right,
part of
yeah.
Graceland and-
So those will be my concerns, if you guys can neaten it up and there's a dumpster and the stairs and the wall and
So,
I could be your bouncer.
so, okay, the stairs is an issue because people can go to your property.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, it was, the reason they did that was because they didn't want people coming off of the deck. You had to actually go through the restaurant.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
And Bob, when he leased it last, took all of that stuff down and opened it up, and that's not really what the selectmen wanted at the time.
Jimmy, do you have another copy of this?
Huh?
Do you have another copy of this?
Yeah.
Can you give her a copy?
So our plan, I think, will solve the issue.
Okay.
Around the grass.
Yep.
It'll be, just on Tom's property. We're actually going to put up,
I don't, sorry.
some kind of fence so that people cannot leave the property. Because also an hour, to protect ourselves.
Yep, exactly.
We don't want people
Eating, right.
drinking
No, she,
Yeah,
I
because you
have,
don't want
and
it,
leaving.
right,
I have,
Jumping in the
because
car
of the
and driving.
liability.
Not only that, I personally
Or-
sent
I'm gonna
people
go
over the
with that.
car.
Stick here, you could take
Yeah.
that.
I thought he was gonna
So I
sign.
think that'll,
was gonna do it. It just needs to do it. It just needs to do it.
All right.
Yeah.
We don't want to
So-
watch Bob
All in favor?
take his retirement money.
Aye,
All right.
and we just,
And walk away with nothing.
with the intent that we'll follow up, I guess, on that stuff.
yeah, all we're doing is just put some kind of fencing up around the grass. So if anyone were, yes, so if anyone were to come off of that deck, no one could leave.
Down here?
There, of course, you have to have some kind of exit for people to come in and out. So going towards the parking lot way, we would just have a door, but you would have, is going to be out there at all times. Also to protect ourselves, and of course you guys too.
Right.
Like she was saying, we don't want people getting tons of food, drinks, and then just leaving the next hour. So
Right.
we do have plans to go back to them. Yeah. So I don't think that would be an issue.
Jimmy, all we gotta do is let me know,
So,
I've seen people also bring
all
alcohol.
right, so while we're talking about liquor licenses,
Bring it.
um,
That's why it's a.
Stars and Stripes is looking for a one-day liquor license for,
We should probably let them know that we.
they know,
I think
They
you
do?
could,
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
we signed it.
yep, September 3rd, from 12 to 9. They're having a chicken barbecue. There'll be approximately 50 people in attendance. I'll entertain a motion to approve a one-day liquor license for, the outside liquor license for Stars and Stripes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Nope.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're all set. I think. Thank you. She's all set, right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll see you right next door.
Let's see. All right. Parks and recreation policies.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Parks and recreation policies. All right. So there were only a couple things that we wanted changed, right?
Oh, there's a couple more that I want to talk about.
Oh. Okay,
All right, gentlemen,
so,
what were the things that you were gonna change?
3.11, we're gonna remove that whole last sentence unless you wanted to change that.
that was the deposit, right?
Right.
Yep, so that looks like it was removed. No, I
Okay.
think that's
Yeah,
good.
you took that out, right?
Yep,
All right, and 6.2, we were going to remove
mhm,
up to harassment, right?
No, we were going to stick with Brooks. It was illegal.
Right, okay,
legal activities or behavior.
Yes.
Yep,
yeah. Yep,
That way, it took all the judgment out of
right,
what was acceptable and wasn't.
yep. I believe that, those were the two issues from last time.
yeah, that's what I remember.
And so, I mean, if you're happy with that, we're happy with it.
So I have a question on 6.3, smoking or vaping.
Mhm.
Who's going to enforce
Well,
that?
it's something you can't really enforce.
Well, it's open air, it should just, okay,
Well, smoking on public property is.
you're outside. And I don't even smoke, and I don't care for
Smoking
smoking.
on public property, we live in the great state of Massachusetts.
Mhm.
So if somebody goes down to play frisbee down there, they can't have a cigarette out in the woods? I'm just asking.
And burn the woods down?
Well, they're doing it anyway, and who's gonna enforce it?
Well, you're not,
Well,
Well,
yeah, you're not supposed to.
right,
You know,
Okay.
whether you can enforce everything, you know, you can't,
all right.
but
Yep.
What else?
The sign policy.
a sign,
Signs may be placed 30 days
Where's that?
prior, 5/1.
5.
Okay.
That needs to come out because you're gonna have signs up for 30 days all over the park or any park. I think
No,
3
no.
days, it says venues up to 30 days prior to an event.
yeah, but they're not gonna be all over the park. If you're, you know, if you're advertising an event, I think that was a reasonable amount of time. And they are going to be,
I think it's excessive. It shouldn't be 30 days.
well, we have signs all over town for way more than 30 days now as it is.
Right, we're not talking about those though.
Yeah, I know, but, well, I mean, it's just a matter of,
So if you're gonna have an event at the common,
Yeah.
So
How many
So
weeks?
you're talking about an event in that particular spot?
Correct, for this
Okay.
particular, yes, for this particular.
And you think
instance.
30 days is, you don't think 30 days is too long?
I think that's
No, I
excessive.
think
Well,
No, I'm asking because it seems like a long time.
Well, no, I mean, you're saying you're advertising carnival, and what would be a normal period of advertising?
I don't know.
30 days.
That's,
From a marketing perspective, 30 days
That's
is a
kind
good
of-
amount of time.
what
You're gonna have
marketing-
signs and banners all over the fence.
They're not gonna be all, it's.
Well, you say that, but you're not excluding it, so.
Yes, but it's, placement of promotional banners and signs will be done at the discretion of the committee. You know, there's some instances when you need to have a little discretion. If you disagree with that, fine, give us a number.
3 days.
3 days.
3?
3 days prior to
No.
the event. Put the signs up and your banners. You're
No.
gonna have them all over town like they have now.
We're not talking about all of town, we're talking about right in that location, John.
Can we ask
Yep.
folks, thank you, sorry. Bit quieted, but I was having trouble.
Yeah, it's hard to hear
Yeah.
what's going on in the meeting.
Thank you.
All right,
I'm comfortable with up to 30 days prior, particularly because of 5.2. Placement of promotional banners and signs will be done at the direction of the committee. And I don't think that they'll, let people just post signs willy-nilly, right?
No, we don't want them on
Well,
Yeah.
places where it's gonna make it difficult to, do normal activities or.
Well, you say that in the next one. Not on the ball field or, I don't know where I read that.
Yep, no signage will be allowed on the playing field, that's 5.3.
Yeah.
Or to interfere with recreation.
Right.
Right.
So I'm good with that. It's the 30-day thing. I think less than a week is plenty of advertising.
Absolutely not,
I don't know, John.
no. If you're,
How about 21 days, 3
So I'm
weeks?
gonna have a birthday
Happy-
party down there and I'm gonna rent a common for my birthday party for the weekend. And I'm gonna put a sign up 30 days for my birthday party.
As long as it complies with what the committee wants.
Why wouldn't it comply?
but are you gonna
So-
promote your birthday party to the public, or is that a
Sure.
private event?
I would promote, anybody who wants to come, I would promote it for that.
All right,
Okay.
So,
So,
I'm just saying, and you're gonna see
how about
things like that.
21
come up.
days?
And it's too long.
I would
Do a
compromise
week
with
if-
21.
A week if anything, 7 days.
The only
Otherwise,
thing,
make it 2 weeks like a normal.
Yeah, what
Meeting
do other
notice.
venues do? I mean, this,
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, they wanna put banners up over the street too, and I don't
well,
wanna.
this isn't
I
banners
know.
over the street,
I
John.
know it's not, but I think
You
it's
go
excessive.
in a bunch of different directions.
How long does the town advertise their parades and all that? Like when I go down.
At least a month ahead.
Brookfield's got it right across from 9.
We don't-
They have that.
Right, this is specifically regarding the town parks. So,
Yeah.
so,
7 days.
What do you do when somebody's on vacation for a week, they doesn't get to see it?
we'll come back to that. The only thing I see, I do think 30 days is a bit much, but, 2 or 3 weeks, I'm okay with 2 or 3 weeks. But I think you need to include something in here, or maybe amend it later, on size of signs.
Okay.
You don't want people putting up a
That's a good
4x8
point.
sheet of plywood,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Um,
Okay, so yeah, we'll add, could add that in 5.2.
Mhm.
There goes my birthday sign.
I know.
One all made out. Nobody.
For your birthday, we'll make an exception.
Okay,
Now, don't get us started.
No exceptions.
well, since
All
we're
right,
here
well,
to discuss this, can
we gotta wrap this up, we got an executive session
you want to
very
give
soon.
us a
so-
size?
What's that?
Can you give us a size you'd be happy with?
3 by 5.
I mean, a regular campaign sign is fine,
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
or maybe a little bigger, but not, you don't wanna be putting up a bunch of, like I said, 4x4 or 4x8 sheets of plywood, and, they should be kinda tasteful, right?
Right.
You don't want
I
just a
think-
spray painted
yeah.
graffiti looking.
But I think we're also trying to include, like, if there's something on the common and somebody's advertising their, like, booth, and they want to put it,
Right, I'm saying I'm okay with this, just make an amendment for later. Figure it out.
We just said no commercial
You're the,
signage.
you're the committee.
If we're trying to figure it out, but we're.
Right, I don't have time tonight. We have a meeting, we have an executive session that started a minute ago. So, that's where we're at. I'm okay with all this, except maybe dropping the timeframe down to
7 days.
Yeah, I just really would kind of like to wrap this up.
Yeah, we've been
well, the
talking
sign,
about it
we
for
can come
3
back
weeks.
with the sign of signs later.
The whole thing.
You know, that's not a big deal.
Okay.
So,
Can you give us a time limit?
well, before everybody leaves, just hold your horses. You've graced us with your presence, Jimmy. You can stay a little bit longer.
No pun intended.
Entirely intended. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Parks and Rec Committee policy with the change to 5.1 to 21 days, and we'll expect an addendum of some kind at the convenience of the committee for size of signage.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. The Pioneer Valley stuff, can we do that next week?
Yeah,
All right. And this here, we could do next week? Or no?
I don't think so.
All right. So we've got a state aid reimbursable program project request for Chapter 90, King Road, Mill Road, Bold Road, Slab City Road, Town Farm Road. These are the rubberized chip seals that we approved earlier. I'll entertain a motion to approve this project request. So
Second.
motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, appointment, Finance Committee alternate and Planning Board alternate, right? Alternate?
Yep.
All right, Von Schlegel wants to be appointed to those as an alternate. We have a letter somewhere from the chair of the Planning Board recommending Von, and the Finance Committee is recommending him as well,
Great.
I believe.
Yes, I got letters from both
All right.
chairs.
And then, so are you on any other committees?
Nope, just those two.
All right.
Well, soon to be, hopefully.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Von Schlegel to the alternate position on the Finance Committee and the Planning Board.
So,
Second.
Any discussion? Any questions for Mr. Schlegel?
he wants to
No,
get
he's-
involved in the town.
All right.
I think it's
Well,
a
and he's
good
been at the Finance Committee meetings. I've seen him there, so that's great. Thank
All
you.
in favor?
thing. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
You can go get sworn in. Is Tara down there right now?
She is leaving in 10 minutes.
All right.
Ooh, I don't know if I'll make that. I'll
Well,
stop by
you can't
tomorrow
stay
morning.
here because we're getting into executive session. So we will address all those concerns, including the sewer backups, at a future meeting. We're gonna look into all that. We're gonna look into the issues with the property that you brought up tonight, the flooding, the way it looks, all that stuff, and the handicap accessibility. So,
Okay, mine wasn't the storage. My
Go ahead.
issue is something I brought up when I bought the property 14 years ago, I brought it up.
okay,
I think I was patient enough to wait 14
Okay.
years still. Okay, you guys, this town back in the early 1900s ran the drain lines from the streets to the property instead of out in the street. I have 4 catch basins on my property. They're not even cleaning up the catch basins, which they're illegal catch basins. They ran the pipes, they stopped the pipe, dug a hole, started 4 feet from there, they started the next pipe to the next catch space, dug a hole, 4 feet from there, did another catch, all 4 of them like that. I have
Okay.
Bradshaw Street is dumping into my property. Up at the hill in the school, all that area is dumping into my property, and it goes back out to the street, which the pipes on my property is lower than the pipes that are out in the street. I don't know what science you guys go to, but when I was in school, water does not run uphill.
No, it does not.
Okay, so my property has to flood before it drains out to the street. I asked the town to take the pipes out of there and just hook them up to the street, because you do have pipes out in the street. And he said, no, it's gonna cost millions of dollars. I goes, are you aware what you have to do? Because you have to raise my property so the pipes are gonna be equal or higher than out in the street. Then you gotta take all the trees out of there,
Well,
because the roots are an enemy for the pipes, which you,
We understand,
you don't understand, because
I
you
do-
guys,
I
if
do
you do understand, you should have fixed this
I do
decades
understand your
ago.
complaint, and we'll address that as well.
Okay,
All right.
Then I have another issue.
Well, I don't,
2018, they crushed one of the pipes in the property. They took the pipe out that was crushed, removed the root, the tree that crushed it. And now I have a big hole in my yard in the back, which fills up because the pipe's not there. It just fills up my property. It flooded my basement this year. My basement got flooded 3 times.
okay, I don't know.
I lost the sump pump because it burnt it out. I'm on my 3rd water heater in less than a year
All right.
that I had to replace. $600 each water heater, okay?
Okay,
So, it's not okay. You guys,
I'm
14 years ago,
agreeing with you.
14 years ago, I addressed this issue, 14 years ago. And you guys have not done anything at all, and my property's even getting worse because you guys are ripping the pipes out. And it's all being flooded, and I'm actually getting towards the house that my property's being flooded to. And like I said, 3 water heaters in 1 year I went
Well,
through.
thank you for making us aware of that.
Well, you don't have to thank me.
I am thanking you anyway.
If you want to pay my bills, pay my water,
And
my water
we
heaters,
will
I'd be
address
happy.
it, and I have to move on.
Yeah,
I have,
blow me aside.
I'm not blowing,
Yeah.
Sorry.
we had the meeting, we have an executive session starting
Well,
10
maybe you
minutes
should have
ago.
scheduled a little further away when you know you had issues.
I didn't know I had you coming in here.
What the-
We have a public comment period, and you
They
get 2 minutes.
discussed the same thing, and
That
you
was
threw
for-
them off until the next.
That's a liquor license hearing.
Storage is a liquor license hearing?
No, what we had was a liquor license hearing. They brought up the sewerage.
Right.
Because they're,
Okay.
they abut stats.
So it had nothing to do with the sewage, it had nothing to do with your issues, and we will address it.
I heard that 14 years ago.
Thank you.
You even put me on
All
a
right,
committee.
I'll entertain a motion to
Didn't do anything.
go into executive session.
Second.
Just so I'll make sure, when is this next committee that's going to address this? About the
I don't know yet.
drainage and all that?
I don't know yet. We just talked about it tonight. I'll set a meeting and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Well, when you surprise people with stuff, I can't give you
How
an
am I
answer.
surprised? This was 14 years ago.
We weren't on
You
the,
were
a
on the
lot of the
committee.
stuff, a
You
lot
were
of this
on the
stuff that you're
president.
telling us now, we
I told
didn't,
you
I
14
don't,
years ago.
not about the crushed pipe.
That was 2008. I
Listen,
didn't tell you about that, but I told you.
listen.
It's
We'll-
only what was damage of what
we'll
the
address
problem I
it.
had.
And I did try addressing it back then, and then I was off the board right after that. So we'll look into it. We'll address the problem.
The address, because you put me on that committee that was to get grants.
I was off
And those grants,
the board.
the
I was
grants, the
off
guy
the
spent
board
2
after
years
that.
of grants.
Thank you.
You say, well, I'm just bring up what you just said. The committee I was on, the guy came in and you spent 2 grants, which I think was $200,000 each grant. He spent, so $400,000 to come back and say, we need new streets and sidewalks, and nothing was addressed about the pipes. And when I came to the first meeting about that, they didn't even say anything. Me and, there was a guy from the sewer department, was sitting in the meeting, that was supposed to start at 6, and nobody was there, and we go, I thought the meeting was 6, and he said, yeah. They showed up at 6:30, because they walked around the common over there, and they said, that's where the start of the problem is. I goes, no, it's up at the hill. And I had to explain to them all the things that what was going on over there. And the person that lived before me at that house was actually complaining about the same thing I'm complaining about.
His address didn't say his name.
All
So
right.
this is more than 14 years of
No,
a
I
problem that's going
understand.
on.
I understand. We will look into it. We will address it.
When you have no clue when this is gonna bring it up at a meeting?
I don't know. It won't be long.
Well, I hope it's less than 14 years.
All right. All right, so we will exit executive session, only to adjourn. Jason Petrides, yes.
John Tripp, yes.
Brooke Canada, yes.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.